there, welcome. Welcome to Homekeepers. What a joy it is to come into your home, into your life each day and talk about the home, talk about the family, talk about school, talk about retirement, talk about anything that's going on in your life. And we are so happy that we can be here for you. And I want you to know that we are very happy that you're there for us. It's kind of a two-way street here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Carol Sewell's with me again today. She is very, very interested in education, and she gets involved where she lives in the state of Texas. She's given us some really good information. And the key is, you know, for people to really get involved in education in the United States, there's a lot of it's going the wrong direction. And so we like to put a spotlight on that just to let you know, to warn you. And praise God, in America, you can do something about it. Then I'm joining Stephanie for some cream of spinach cheese soup. I can hardly wait to taste this. I'm a soup lover, and I make a lot of soup at home myself and freeze it, you know, in little jars and all that. But I've never had one with these exact ingredients, so I'm anxious to taste it. It's going to be a nice, rich soup. Before I join her, though, I've got something I want to offer you, Devotions for Difficult Times. This is one of the nicest nicest books we have ever offered you because of the content, and it's one page for any kind of situation that you might be going through that is difficult. And I'm very thankful that people take time to write something like this. And this is something that you could have it in your car, you could keep it with you, and there's Bible verses, and then there's kind of a commentary on it for anything from death to sickness and things that are disappointing and things on the job. You'll find something that will encourage you here. And you know, we all need encouragement. And thankful when I receive it, but I want to be one who gives encouragement more and more. We're offering you this book, and it's for that gift of $20 to the program. That keeps us on the air. We give you something that's worthwhile for your Christian walk, and you help us stay on the air. It's really a good deal. So use your credit card by calling 1-800-229-0059, and the address is on your screen, Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida, 33758, Devotions for Difficult Times. And these are difficult times. Think you'll need this. Think you'll like it. Hello. I can hardly wait to taste this.
I'm so happy you're excited.
Mm-hmm. Well, the spinach and the cheese and the evaporated, it's going to be really rich.
Yes, so you have 2 cans of evaporated milk, and you have flour. You're going to mix that all together for me. This recipe is for 2 people.
Yeah.
So Arthelene has doubled it so we can share a little bit.
Well, I've never seen a recipe for 2 people.
Yeah.
And
but that's great, because a lot of people don't want to cook for a month, you know.
Well, I think with soup, though, you got to make a lot of it.
Yeah, well, and Arthelene does bring in these little jars of soup for lunch. Little tiny baby jars. Like an appetizer.
Yeah, I make them.
But it's her meal.
Put them in the freezer.
Yep, so I have a can of chicken broth in here that's already hot. I'm going to put in some onion powder and some pepper. And I'm also going to put the spinach in and get that cooking.
And they kind of
that's a lot.
recommend, you know, the low fat, the no fat, and all that. But this is going to be a thick soup, don't you think?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, and then, because then at the end we're going to put some cheese in. Yummy. Okay, so I'm just going to let this cook for a minute. You know, I just want to mention, I'm still getting such nice letters from viewers, and you can't even know how much that means to me. I'm still getting a few cards now and again.
I know,
so
and I've noticed, and people are so thankful. If you're a newer viewer, she was diagnosed with breast cancer and has come through, got the radiation behind her, and she's cancer-free. But it was the viewers that really were such a source of encouragement. It
was amazing.
You know, when you get encouragement from people you don't even know,
yes,
then you know it's the family of God.
Yes,
and if you're not in the family of God, you're missing.
You are missing.
Boy, you are missing.
Yes.
In fact, Bill and Gloria Gaither just wrote a song about, I'm so glad I'm a part of the family of God.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. So I appreciate it more than, like, I mean, honestly, it just is overwhelming.
And there's little notes in the mail that you might not see. So, Oh, this is,
Yep, so I've cranked the heat up so that we can just get this really going because I want to put that cheese in there. I want it to melt really good. So,
I think this is one that I would want to make at home.
yeah, this is going to be really
And it's not rocket science. You can do this.
good. No, super simple. This is a super simple soup. You could put this in your crock pot in the morning and have soup when you got home. Yeah.
Yes.
And you could like quadruple this batch because
I know
like
it.
really what they gave us originally was, I mean, it really would be only a little tiny.
I was trying to think. I've never seen a recipe for 2 people. If I have, it sure wasn't soup.
No.
Come on.
No, yeah. So that's interesting.
Yep.
Okay, so let's.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Yes, yeah.
Now there are, Panera has a broccoli cheese.
Yes, I think that's my daughter's favorite. She in the bread bowl.
But I think I will like this better because I love spinach. I feel a little bit like President George Bush Sr. when he was president. He said, I don't like broccoli, I never have. I'm president of the United States and I don't have to eat it.
Yep, I didn't like broccoli forever. When I got older, I like it cooked like in stir fry. I like it like or with cheese poured over the top of it.
Yeah, but something to camouflage it. You know.
yeah.
A lot of good spices.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, so okay.
Beautiful.
We're getting there, but I'm going to have you taste it because I know you have a wonderful guest to get to.
Yeah.
Just trying to give it a little one more minute.
Yeah, give it another minute
Okay.
because,
I want that cheese to really melt.
yeah, the, I don't know with that evaporated milk. Of course, you can, that's very rich, but you can still get it non-fat and all that.
Oh,
so.
yeah, yeah.
But that's
you
going to
know,
give it a really rich,
a nice
flavor.
roll with this, with butter and maybe a little honey.
Oh, shut up.
Shut up. Okay, here we go. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're
Yeah, we
getting
have a
there.
very famous restaurant here, the
Yeah.
Columbia.
Oh,
My,
their
my-
1905 salad is the best salad.
Yeah,
in
my
the world.
sister was here from California, and
Yeah.
I took her, and I put a thing on Facebook, and you can't believe from all over the United
Yes.
States. They've been there, been there.
Oh
you
my
know.
gosh.
So
Best salad
Yeah.
ever. Okay, let's do this.
I love spinach. I eat a lot of spinach.
Yeah,
Here's a spoon for you.
thank you. You try it first.
If I don't die, she's going to have some.
Yeah, if you don't make a face.
Oh, my.
Oh my. Yeah.
Uh-huh. You want that. You want that recipe.
Oh. Yeah. That's good.
Yep.
You want to let it cook a lot longer than I am because I'm speed cooking.
It's
but-
a cream of spinach
Oh.
cheese soup. And
That's
if you want it, your email is the best thing. Email your request to us. We'll send it right back, or write to me. Send me an envelope with your name on it and also your address and also a stamp. All right, stay with us because some of you have met Carol Sewell before, but I'm telling you, I appreciate her and how she makes kind of getting in there on the subject of education. So stay with us, and the information will be coming up on our screen right now.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, you may send your email request to arthelene@rippy.org, or you may write to us at the address on your screen, and in doing so, please include a self-addressed stamped envelope. We thank you for being a part of our Homekeepers family.
Oh, Carol, thanks for being with me again. On the last program, we kind of left things hanging as we began to discuss your book, My Kids Belong to Who. This deals with our current school system, takes a good look at it, and things that we should all be very, very concerned about. You have how many children?
I have one.
Oh, just one?
Just one. She's a miracle because I had issues that kind of made her
Very
a miracle.
special then.
Very special. And she has 3 boys that she homeschools.
So I got a bunch of grandsons. They are so much fun.
Yes, they are. And they are fun.
Yeah, I just had lunch with one of them. He's 22, and just nothing like grandkids for sure.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm ahead of you. Got eight great grandchildren.
Right. Yes.
And that is fun when you hold that first great grandchild. All right, let's get back to this. the Bible says in the Old Testament that the sons of Issachar understood the times. And I'd like to say you understand the times, and I'm thankful that you take time to write books, you take time to become friends, meet with, pray for our legislators, and things that a lot of us should be doing. What was it that caused you to be concerned enough? This looks like a small book, but let me tell you, it's loaded with information.
But it is small and it's easy to read, and I wanted to wake up Christian parents, because I hear so many people when their kids get out of high school and they go to college and everything, and they'll say, you know, they just totally the opposite of what I believe in. I just don't understand what happened. And so I'm explaining with this book, this is what happened.
Yeah.
But I want to clarify something, because we have some really wonderful teachers, Christian teachers, and even non-Christian that are gifted teachers, but the system works against them. The curriculum they have to use, all of these things work against their ability and God-gifted anointing as Christians to do what they do, and they have to deal with it the best way they can.
Boy, have you ever
in the classroom.
You've ever put a spotlight on what's going on here in our area, because there are newspaper articles that are frightening, that teachers are bailing, that they're not coming into the system. And I know in our area, it's that they have to spend the whole semester teaching for a test. Kids aren't learning, you know, life skills. Teaching toward that test, it frustrates the children, frustrates the teachers. It's very, very prominent here. I don't know how it is in Texas, but.
Well, it's the same way, that teaching to the test. And that's the same thing they do with immigrants preparing to take the citizenship test. They give them the test. Here's the test, and here's the answers, memorize it, and that's all they get. So no explanation, no background to really understand about this country. But I think that the stressing the test has to do with the type of the methods that are being used to teach. And if we had proper methods of teaching that actually did educate and had had good curriculum, we wouldn't need to rely on all that testing. The kids would be learning. And I heard there's an online school called Khan Academy, and I heard him, and he's a young guy, and he's an engineering civic kind of guy, and he put together this education to help kids because he could see that they weren't getting it. And his whole philosophy, the way he thinks things should be changed, is that in our system, instead of just moving kids along, they group them in age groups, put all these 5-year-olds, okay, you start school together, and then every year you get promoted, and get promoted. Well, he says they should not be promoted until they have mastery. So it should all be based on mastery of skills, and in mathematics and science, and those things that you measure by those, and in reading, your reading skills, your comprehension, and that's true. And he's not a Christian, but he does have a good, I think that's mastery is the thing. And that was how it worked in the one-room schoolhouse, is that it was all about mastery. And so and you could advance in mastery at your pace. It wasn't a one-size-fits-all where if you're advanced, you have to stay where you are in this classroom with everybody else. No, you can work ahead, and the older kids would help the younger kids, and it was all about mastery.
This was your one-room schoolhouse,
yes.
Where you have kids of a lot of different ages, and
the parents paid the teacher. So when the parents pay the teacher teaches what the parents want taught. So who pays controls.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And so we think, well, we hear a lot in our communities about local control, and we think we have local control, but we don't. The one-room schoolhouse, that was local control.
Yeah.
But when it went to school districts and all of that, then
And now it's federal.
There's federal money
Federal
coming
money.
in, there's state money coming in, there's your local tax money. So you think, well, that's my money, so I should have control. Well, no, any level of government, once you give them the money,
They have the control.
They have the control.
Yeah. On the last program, we were just, when we ran out of time, talking about how Marxism began in the late 30s to take over the class. And you point out in this book, My Kids Belong to Who, and we're going to get the website up. You can get this through the website. I certainly encourage it. That in order for them to succeed, they had to remove God from the classroom. I have great-grandchildren, so I remember God in the classroom. I remember those times, and I remember the, Thanksgiving and all these places where God was honored. And somewhere, somebody found in the Constitution somewhere where that was not constitutional, which took a stretch, but that's what they said.
That was kind of like Roe versus Wade, where they found this.
Found a right to kill a baby.
Right to kill a baby, or all that stuff in there. So, unfortunately, we've been educated to believe that the Constitution is a living, breathing document, and
instead of established.
Instead of an established, just like the Bible, it's unchangeable. I mean, it worked for us for over 200 years. And then they've started changing it, and the courts, the judiciary, started getting more based on their opinion instead of the law.
Right.
So there's been kind of a lawlessness that has entered in, along with that, that left-wing thinking about everything. And so our laws have become politicized. Things that make sense, common sense, logic, are gone.
You point out in this also how political correctness has so affected our education.
You mentioned in the last show about the Johnson Amendment, and the Johnson Amendment, was to quiet and shut up people that Johnson, he was a United States Senator at the time, wanted to stop them from talking.
And that's pastors.
And that was pastors and others.
Church leadership.
And so that was effective. It did do that. And in the same way, political correctness is designed to shut us up. And so that I know even I find myself checking.
Not wanting to offend.
Yeah, checking myself. Let's see, should I say that? Should I not say it? How should I say that?
And if you experience that, God help us all.
I know, and so
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
though.
but when I catch it, then I go, well, what am I doing? I'm not buying into that.
You wouldn't dare say that homosexuality is a sin.
No.
In this culture. I wrote this down out of your book because you point out the indoctrination in our textbooks today. Remember, our children at the beginning of this nation learned to read from the Bible. That was the textbook. They talk and say that Greenpeace is a mainstream organization. Very few people have heard of it. I know what it is, but
right.
And also that Ronald Reagan's policies helped the rich but hurt the poor. And there's all kinds of statistics that show that
the opposite.
That all the ships rose in his administration. I mean, these are lies, and they're teaching them to our children.
Yes, unfortunately, I mean it's tragic. It's real, and that's why I wrote the book, because I'm trying to stress to people to really understand that parents today need to take responsibility. And if they can't afford to stay home, teach them themselves, or send them to a Christian school, someplace where they feel confident that they're going to get truth, then they're going to have to take time at home to do it and double teach. In other words, when they get home from school, there needs to be some deprogramming done.
Yeah, and
So-
check their assignments,
Yes.
check their books.
Because they keep things a secret, and they
Yeah.
don't want kids taking work home
Exactly.
because they know parents will get upset when
Exactly.
they see these things that they're doing, and how invasive a lot of it is into their personal information and all of that. Because you know, there will be a time where, and just like there was in Germany and under communism during the Soviet Union days, where the children spied on the parents. So we're
That's not far-fetched.
No, that's
It's not
not
far-fetched.
anymore.
I've noticed too, Carol, that how they're pushing quote, gay marriage and transgenderism. We got a lot of new words now, but where as young as kindergarten, they will tell a kid, first grade, some days you'll feel like a boy, some days you'll feel like a girl. Putting that confusion in those little brains that do not develop till they're about 24 years old, you know.
I know.
And I just wonder how many parents really know what's going on, and they're good parents, they're thoughtful parents, but you can get up and send your kid to school and think that things are fine, and they're not.
No, they're not. And that confusion, well, all children go through a gender confusion at some point. And it wasn't called that, and it wasn't talked about a lot, but it's part of the aging process and discovering who you are. And once you begin to develop as a young woman and a young man, then any confusion they have usually goes away, and they'll embrace their God-given biological sex without any problem. But unfortunately, even the parents have been indoctrinated to believe that their children can choose what they want to be, and it's a lie.
Yeah.
It's a lie of the enemy, and it's sentencing your child to a life of bondage that with a higher, much higher percentage of suicide. No matter one of the hospitals that first did sex changes.
It was Johns Hopkins, I think.
yeah,
They won't do it
yeah,
anymore.
they won't do it anymore because it doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't
I was
help.
never confused. I always knew as a girl.
Me too. Me too.
Okay, on this show, we've talked a lot about Common Core, and you nailed it, because we've been educated on it. It has never been beta tested to see if it works to improve education quality, rather used for indoctrination. And it's true, they get the kid in the system, kindergarten, and they track him the whole way through. And there's a certain control there. And it's very frightening.
There is, and there, it's come and gone, but I know that it's still there. What they want is to be able to, when the kids are first come into the system, within a couple of years, set them on a track to either go a professional route or a skilled labor route. And so they're stuck in this route, and there's no room for God to move and bring them into what He wants them to do.
Oh, it's insidious.
It is.
It absolutely is.
I call it, I think the whole thing is that it's designed to dumb us down, so that we're little sheep. We just follow, and we don't think for ourselves because we've never been taught.
There's no room for creativity.
Right.
At all.
Yeah.
There's no room for initiative. We're going to run out again. Talking about separating children from their parents at the youngest possible age, and I have noticed this. Also, the culture. We have people who are running for office, people in office, using the most foul language that I've ever heard. It's bleeped, of course, off our TV. The whole culture is just disintegrating, and I just think of what parents have to do to move against that. Maybe we're giving them some information here.
Yes. And what I'd like to say is this sounds very negative and very bad, but it's life, and God's still in control, and He can turn things around. And the good news for parents is that with all the popularity of homeschooling, there's all kinds of curriculum out there that they can use to supplement what they get, so that whatever they're taught in school that is against the values found in the Bible and in your home and in your church, you can counteract it with truth.
Yep.
The main thing is we need to teach our children to love the Lord, to know His Word, love the Word, and be truth lovers. And if they're truth lovers, then you teach them how to think things through. And that's one thing they don't get in school, is
Right,
how to
cookie cutter.
yeah, how to think properly and make a decision about something. And just pray over your children.
Amen.
Every day, that they would get hold of God's purpose for their lives at an early age.
Greater is He that is within us than he that is within the world, and we
Yes.
are completely out of time. It's goes so fast when you're here. So stay with me. I have a couple things to say before we have to say goodbye.
Arthelene would like you to keep the following information handy. You may contact Homekeepers by writing to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758, or go to www.rippy.org. Remember, we always enjoy hearing from our viewers, and we thank you for your support.
You know, I'm hoping that these programs will be kind of a wake-up call for people to pray for the teachers in our schools. I believe with my whole heart that really good teachers are called by God to be teachers. And they are really facing some difficult times. There have been articles in my hometown paper here in St. Petersburg, Florida, where teachers are bailing out and they're leaving early before retirement and so forth. It's not easy. So I'd like to just close with this as we've been discussing education. Pray for your teachers, pray for your educators, pray for the safety of our kids when they're in school. That's the best thing we can do. And I hope you'll join me next time, remembering there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you should miss a Homekeepers program, you can catch up by going to www.ctnonline.com. Click on CTN Programs and then on Homekeepers.